Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. The UN nuclear watchdog will carry out inspections in Iran soon, following an interim peace accord between the United States and Iran. But modalities have yet to be finalised. International Atomic Energy Agency chief Rafael Grossi told a press conference in Japan that they will be working on the modalities, dates, procedures, places, very soon. The United States has successfully conducted the first test of the Golden Dome defense system. According to US Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, the Golden Dome system detected multiple threats and successfully intercepted its targets, adding that the test was carried out on schedule and every threat was effectively neutralized. He said President Trump is turning former President Reagan's Strategic Defense Initiative into a reality, adding that the Department of Defense will become stronger than ever through the Golden Dome program. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has begun a Middle East tour in earnest, seeking to reassure Gulf allies who view concessions in President Donald Trump's Iran deal as too generous to a regional foe. Asked on arrival in Abu Dhabi if he planned to address allies' disquiet with the accord, Rubio told reporters that it most certainly will come up in these discussions. He said they would also discuss issues not covered by the Memorandum of Understanding. He said he would not be asking regional allies to contribute to any reconstruction fund during the trip. The US Senate has backed legislation directing President Donald Trump to halt US military action against Iran, the latest rebuke of the Republican president from an increasingly restive Congress. The Senate voted 50-48 in favor of the War Powers resolution. Meanwhile, in a post late night, Trump criticized the vote, calling it poorly timed and meaningless, and accused those who voted in favor of providing comfort to Iran and making his job more difficult. India and the United States have discussed pathways to conclude an interim trade deal after talks between its Trade Minister, Piyush Goyal, and US Trade Representative Jameson Greer. Greer, the top US trade diplomat, is in India for two-day talks over a deal seen as crucial to mending bilateral ties amid diplomatic tensions. The Indian government said in a statement that the two sides had made substantial progress in trade talks in recent months, adding they were committed to an agreement that is balanced and commercially meaningful. 3 stranded tankers carrying 5 million barrels of crude oil are exiting the Strait of Hormuz, with 2 heading to Asia. Shipping data showed that South Korean-flagged VL Breeze, a very large crude carrier carrying 2 million barrels of Qatari condensate and Abu Dhabi crude, passed the strait and is heading to Daysan. VLCC Platter carrier, chartered by Indian Oil Corp, is heading out of the strait with 2 million barrels of Saudi crude, alongside Suezmax tanker Prudent Warrior, which is heading for Sohar, Oman, with 1 million barrels of Iraqi Basra crude. Both are sailing under the Liberian flag. NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte is set to meet with President Donald Trump at the White House, seeking to ease tensions over the Iran war and US threats to draw down troops in Europe. Rutte, in an interview with Fox News, described the incidents of some NATO members denying US basing and overflight rights for war-related activities as isolated, saying hundreds of US planes took off from US bases across Europe to support Washington's war. NATO spokesperson Alison Hart said Rutte's visit is part of the final preparations for the July summit in Ankara. Authorities in northern France have been scrambling to restore electricity to thousands of homes hit by power cuts amid a blistering heatwave that has scorched much of Western Europe for days. Healthcare centres and critical sites were being prioritised in the effort, with generators provided to tide over retirement homes after Tuesday's outages blamed on a transformer incident. Officials said in a statement that the incident was accidental and related to the current heatwave. Record-breaking temperatures across Europe, ranging as high as 18 degrees Celsius above normal, have disrupted transport networks and forced schools and tourist sites to shut. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.